serious resistance from Republicans. That's even without the cover of his new frenemy Elon Musk's opposition, especially after it was revealed the bill would add $2.4 trillion to the national debt over the next 2 years. That was with a T, not a B or an M. That's according to an estimate from the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office. And nearly 11 million people will lose their health insurance by 2034 under the bill due to spending cuts and Medicaid eligibility rules. Now, Trump told members of the Senate Finance Committee to just, quote, pass the damn bill during a White House meeting this week. To add even more fuel to the fire, Elon Musk has already threatened to primary any politician who votes for the bill. David Jolly, and Wale are with us. I put you guys together. That's what
That's right. That's right.
Do. You know, David, you have been in there, right?
Sure.
You worked under two speakers of the House, if I remember correctly.
That's right.
They're going to do something here, right? Talk about House bills the Senate's where the House bills go to die. That has happened over and over and over again.
That's right.
So what do you think is happening? What do you think, Thune is kind of concocting over there?
So winning is unifying, and I suspect they'll find a way to unify. My experience, you know what I love about being a Democrat now? we get to accept math and science and data. Republican math never works. Republican math never works. It was my lived experience in Congress. I would co-sponsor tax bills and actually vote against them because at the end of the day on the floor, the math never worked. They just they make it go away a little bit. And I think that's what we're seeing here. I think we're also seeing what we already know, which is the Republican Party is not a party of fiscal responsibility. It simply is not. I mean, the Republican Party here is prepared to blow up the debt and deficit. And then on the question of values, how are they looking to cut money out of Medicaid? And look, generationally, I think a lot of people of a certain age think of Medicaid as, oh, that was only for certain socioeconomic communities. Mm-hmm. Now, in many states like Florida, over 40% of childbirth care is provided by Medicaid. Long-term care facilities, if you have a family member with dementia or in some type of long-term care facility, what happens is when you run out of resources, Medicaid starts picking up the tab. And the special needs community, unique abilities community, largely supported by Medicaid. And Republicans can say it's not going to cut that, but that's not true. That's absolutely not true. And particularly in long-term care facilities, they're apparently going to revoke a rule about the number of staff that's required in some of those facilities. So I think we're seeing the perfect display of Republican values. We're going to explode the debt and deficit. We're going to use math that doesn't work, and we're going to take away health care from people who need it. Look, go ahead and do it. It's wrong, but you're going to be in a lot of trouble next November if you do it.
David, let me stick with you because I just wonder if you think that Musk coming out so vociferously against the quote big beautiful bill that'll have any impact on its passage in the Senate. Short question: Who are congressional Republicans more afraid of, President Trump or Elon Musk?
I think House Republicans are more afraid of Elon Musk. I'm not sure Senate Republicans are as much. I mean, for whatever reason, right? Senators are just different. They all think they're president of the United States. They don't take threats pretty well. But House members are terrified. And if if there's a primary threat by Elon Musk, look, let's be honest, most seats, right, 90% of our seats are either gerrymandered or naturally gerrymandered for one party. So if you're a Republican and Elon Musk is going to drop $5 million into a primary against you, you'll lose. You'll lose. Donald Trump, you can navigate Trumpism a little bit, but the Elon Musk threat is real.
Msnbc, there seems to be an opportunity for Democrats here, right? You have Musk running around, this man with a humongous microphone, one that rivals Donald Trump. He has X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, where a lot of Americans pay attention to and are getting a lot of news, quote unquote, from. He called it an abomination, this bill. Is that an opportunity for Democrats to be like, yeah, it is an abomination. We disagree about why, but here's why we think it's an abomination, right? Does it give more attention to something that the Democrats were already trying to do?
Yeah, and they should speak out as loud about it as Senators Rand Paul, Johnson, Hawley. I mean, Republican senators are being vocal about the fact that they are cautious and hesitant about the bill. And I think that Democrats should pick up where a lot of the Republican senators are leaving off and say, yes. And on top of that, Senator Lisa Murkowski should care about the fact that those energy tax credits greatly benefit Alaska, and that cutting rural health care will damage Alaska. And yes, I agree with Senator Josh Hawley that it is Medicaid cuts, and we shouldn't be doing this to working class folks. And for once in my life, I agree with Senator Rand Paul, and let's look at the budget. There are so many. Senator Mike Lee talking about limited government. I mean, now is the time to put the pressure on them. Like you said, David, senators are just not as concerned about threats coming from a president because they've got a lot longer of time to deal with sitting in that seat. I'm a former Senate staffer myself, and so, yeah, I think the upper chamber has the upper hand.
Senators don't like to be pushed around.
They hate
House members get pushed around every single day of their lives. Senators don't.
Okay, senators don't like being pushed around, and I'm doing that because I'm looking here because we have a breakdown of who the Republicans who are against the bill, and under our heading here, concerned about Medicaid cuts, clean energy tax credit, but Medicaid cuts. Senator Susan Collins of Maine, she's always concerned. She's concerned about this, she's concerned about that, but at the end of the day, more often than not, she votes for the thing.
She never misses the opportunity to do the wrong thing. Look, so senators don't like, don't like to look like they are being pushed around, and some of them reach for political cover and language to try to make it look like that. I'm more curious about those who have drawn a red line on the debt and the deficit and the numbers. Does a Rand Paul ever move on this? Does a real fiscal hawk ever move on this? I don't know.
We have run out of time, and we are just getting started this conversation. Yemisi Egbawale, thank you very much for coming to the weekend.
Thank you for having me.
And still ahead, we can't let David Jolly go without asking him about his bid for governor of Florida. He'll be answering some of your questions after the break.